Hey, on my Travel Wins podcast, I'm looking at Bobby Genovese. How are you today, Bobby?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
I so appreciate the time. I'm doing really well, actually. Bobby, you're quite the entrepreneur. I don't know exactly where to start. You have such a wide-ranging background. You're a business starting person, entrepreneur, polo player, philanthropist, a great dad. What else am I missing here?
Well, I think that covers a large spectrum. But, I sort of envision myself as an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. I've been lucky enough to make it in a lot of things that I've done, and now really interested in helping other entrepreneurs get to where they need to be successful.
And how many days a year do you think you're on the road traveling for all your work?
I would say, it's a difficult question because for me, work and play is almost the same thing. So if I'm traveling on my boat, I'm looking at different opportunities. I'm having clients fly in, fly out, or business partners or associates. If I'm at my ranch in Ocala, as you knew earlier this morning when we spoke, I'm out looking at other opportunities here in Ocala that are just taking off. And so my life is always on the go. I can't stay in one place too long. I need to keep moving. I don't know why, but inherently I am the most comfortable when I'm moving from one spot to the next.
And I find a lot of business travelers are that way. I'm the same way. If I'm not on the road, I kind of get squirrely. My wife's like, "What are you doing?"
I know, it's so true.
Your kids are a little bit older now, but did you take them with you on quite a bit of the expeditions?
I do. I did. I think travel is the best education you can give your children. So from our home in Argentina to London, England to Canada, our summer home, those kids have got more air miles at this stage of their life than some people will ever have in a lifetime. I dragged them everywhere.
I love the word that you dragged them.
Well, it wasn't always easy to get them to come, believe me. But once they got there, they loved it.
Oh, sure. What's the best way of traveling for you for business? I know you have your private plane.
I'm blessed to have my own plane, so that definitely helps. And and then obviously the boat. I mean, it's amazing where you can go to sleep in one country and you wake up and you're floating inside another country. That's the best way.
Well, and obviously a little bit jealous of your tagline. So
who has more fun than us?
I have to try and catch up to that.
It's true. It's true.
Have you found what's the best way for you to balance your work and your life? As far as your friends, your families, missing appointments, missing birthdays?
You know what, Pete? I really don't. Again, I pride myself on being a great father, so I try not to miss an event if humanly possible. So I can honestly look in the mirror and say I've certainly been to more than I've missed. And if I'm not with the kids are with me wherever I am. So I've been incredibly blessed that way. And again, as I said earlier, I wrap so much of my personal life in my overall working life that for me it's one and the same.
Do you think that's possible for other people to do, or at least strive to do? And I say that because when I traveled a lot, I used to focus on just what I was going to work and do work and then get home. Now I tend to take more time and enjoy the trip and the process a little bit more than I did in the past.
And Pete, I think that's a big secret. I think if you genuinely love what you do, which obviously you and I do, more than likely you're going to be successful at it. And if you're successful at it, usually monetarily, the money will follow. For me, I enjoy the journey sometimes more than the destination. And you never know what you're going to come across or where you end up, which is what makes it so fabulous.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell people too: is when you're traveling, don't close your eyes and just focus on what you're doing. I mean, I always look around and see what's around me. And
exactly.
What
And
do
I
you,
think that's a gift.
yeah, well, yeah, and it was a learned gift. Like I said, when I first started really traveling a lot for work, it was like, let me just get there. And I still meet people that are like that. And I'm like, oh, did you go to Louisville? And they're like, hey, did you go to the Louisville Bat Company tour? They're like, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
What's what's the hardest part of traveling for you? I mean, you have it pretty good, but are there any parts?
Well, I mean, look, there are times when you are on the road and you just, you do get tired. I'm having my ranch renovated here, so I've been in the Hilton Hotel the last few nights, and believe me, I would much rather be at the ranch than the Hilton. So, I did have the best couple of nights of sleep the last few nights, but there are times when you do wish you just had the comforts of your own home, your own stuff, your own
kitchen, your own everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you on that one.
But that'd be my answer to that one.
With as far as your equestrian background, I'm more of a Western background. You're more polo and English, I guess. How do you incorporate that into your travel?
Well, again, I mean, so much of my life was equestrian with my polo career, and then now that my daughter is followed, and most of my equestrian life now revolves around her. Again, I've just been incredibly blessed by falling into some things that I absolutely love, and it's been a wonderful experience, sort of doing it all with them.
Do you think your success is because you stayed focused on specific things, or have you just tried a wide range of things and then found what worked at that point?
I think a little bit of both. Okay. I don't think there's anybody that outworked me in my 20s and 30s. I mean, I was as focused as you can be. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Focused as you can be on being successful. And luckily, I just found something that fell into my sweet spot and became very successful at it.
Do you think your hustle came from your schooling or lack of schooling when you were growing up?
I was just focused. Yeah. I mean, I was just focused on being successful. I mean, I obviously wasn't scholastically inclined, as you had mentioned. I only got to grade 9, but, I had an amazing work ethic, which I think I still do. I knew there was a lot of people that could certainly outsmart me, but not a lot of them that were going to outwork me.
Yeah.
And I think taking that work ethic into an area that I was successful at, being the stock market and junior startup companies, if I focused there, I could be successful. And I was.
Obviously. I mean.
Yeah. No, it's been amazing. I mean, between, yachts and planes and ranches and homes around the world and polo teams. I mean, it's been a dream life that I could never have thought of in my teenage years would ever have happened.
When do you think that changed? Was that in your 20s when you started trading, or?
Yeah, I had a discussion with one of my best friends the other day who grew up similar than I did. He actually went through university and got his law degree, and he became CEO of Warner Chappell, the largest music company in the world. Oh. And we were both saying that, we were both sort of lost into our early to mid-20s, and then we both sort of hit our stride. And we were both hungry to succeed, and we took that hunger and was able to capitalize on it. And we were just saying with our own children, how do you create that hunger? How do you, is it inherited? Can you teach it? What life lessons do you give them? So it's been a big thing. But, it took me into my early to mid 20s to really hit my stride to become successful.
That's interesting because that's what my daughters are in their mid 20s right now, 24 and 26. And I tell them, I go, don't, when they graduated college, I was like, don't worry about it. No one has it figured out just yet, especially at your age. Because I was like I didn't finish college. I started college, but I didn't finish it. But then I just started working. And hard work tends to bear it all.
True. True.
How has technology changed your travel? If you can go back 20 years ago and think no cell phone, no internet, and to how much you use it now.
I mean, come on. You and I used to have to search for dimes to work a pay telephone on the corner to tell our parents we were going to be late, and then the dime went to a quarter.
Yeah.
And then how about, those days where if it was long distance, you had to shove the payphone full of quarters to get the time to make a long distance call. I mean,
I remember being happy when I got a corporate calling card, so I didn't have to carry change anymore.
Oh my God! So you were way ahead of me. I never had one of those. So look, and I don't even think I'm that old, and I remember all of that like yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Crazy.
That's
No, I think technology is amazing now. Just the amount of work that you can do while you're traveling and while you're doing things. It's truly amazing how far we've come.
Do you ever try and unplug when you're? I mean, obviously, I would think when you're crossing some of the oceans, and all that.
And again, I never really understand that because, I understand it. But for me to be unplugged is more pressure than not being plugged. I like knowing what's going on. I like touching base with people. I want to know what's happening with my businesses. I want to know what's happening with projects that I've got on the go. For me to say unplug and like not interested, like that would be more stressful for me than not stressful. So
I hear you. What advice do you give young people? I mean, I'm always talking to athletes or musicians or business people about traveling. What advice would you give younger people, high school age, that are looking to get a job and maybe they're thinking they want to travel?
Travel. I think that's the best advice you can give them. Yeah. There's just, Pete, no better education in the world than traveling. The different cultures, the different people, the different businesses, the different ideas, all of those things you come back with. And, there's no better education and experience than getting out there and really living it and seeing it and doing it.
Totally agree. I'd like to end up just with, I know you give back quite a bit. You have the different rallies and different charities that you give back to. When did that start, and do you wish you could have started sooner, and even on a smaller scale?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you always wish you could have done more earlier, but, I think the timing for me was right in my life where, I'd reached a financial point where I felt it more of a responsibility now to give back. And it's one thing to sort of give money, which everybody does. And I just thought, you know what, better for me to donate money to be able to raise more money. Yeah. And that's how the car rally and the boat rallies started. It was better for me to create an event and have that event raise 5, 10, 20 times more money than just to give the money. And as you know, those events have become incredibly successful, and we've raised well in excess of $25 million. And the Face the World Foundation, the other big charity I'm involved in as well in Vancouver, Canada, has raised in excess of $20 million as well. So they've been great functions to be involved with, and still happy to say I'm still involved in them.
Yeah, I think that's so key, especially. I mean, I think a lot of people don't commit to them because they go, well, I don't have $15 million or $5 million, but maybe it's just $100.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you feel like you're participating.
Yeah, exactly. What's the, hey, I really appreciate the time. What's the best way for people to kind of follow you and stay in touch with you or see what you have going on out there?
Well, both. Instagram, obviously, is Bobby_Genovese_ is my Instagram, and of course Facebook, Bobby Genovese. And yeah, and I encourage people to follow along. I'm on LinkedIn. I don't use it a lot, but I'm on that as well.
Do you keep your website up to date pretty much?
I do, but more of what is in my immediate arena. But to follow my adventures and my trips and all the other things I'm doing, it's best to go to Instagram. Yeah,
totally agree. Well, hey, Bobby, I truly appreciate the time. Yeah, I don't know how to thank you other than...
No, to you as well, and hoping our paths cross in person one of these days. That'd be great.
Yeah, if you ever come out to Los Angeles, I'm out here.
I'll do that for sure. I'm there quite often.
Yeah.
Pete, thanks so much.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate the time, buddy.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.